to my YouTube channel. Today's topic is step number 4 of my 13-step foundation to healing and healthy natural ways for post-traumatic stress and trauma. And that step is gratitude. As usual, everything I'm going to go over is written up here on the board, so you can all follow around, take notes. If you want to do that, go for it. It's just to help you focus and follow along easier. As I always mention, all of my steps are here in my book, The Sword and the Anvil, a definitive guide for healthy natural healing from post-traumatic stress and trauma. And the videos are intended to be a guide or to show you how to best implement what's in my book here. So they're meant to work together. And also, my other books, I always keep them here in case you're interested. I say there's the Chrysalis, which chronicles my struggles with PTSD for the course of 20 years or so. It's a good resource for those of you that have it and want to have something to sort of show you that what you're going through is normal, or if you just found out you had PTSD and you want to maybe have an idea of what's down the road so that you can prepare for it. Also, it's an extremely good resource for those of you that don't have PTSD, but you have loved ones, friend, family, all those sorts of things that do have PTSD. So you will understand what they're going through, what they may possibly go through in the future, and it will just help you understand them better so that you can help them as well. And just by understanding, you're helping. And it shows support. And then my other book, A Line in the Sand, which is about my experiences on the front lines of the first Gulf War in combat as a Marine. So if you're interested in any of those things, there they are. So today, like I said, step number 4, gratitude. This step is fairly easy, figuratively speaking, and it's pretty self-explanatory. It's all about basically being grateful for everything in your life. This is something that not only people with PTSD, but I think people in general need to work on, because everything that happens to you in your life happens for a reason. I'm a big firm believer in that. The other thing is that being thankful for everything in our life, including the bad things, especially the bad things, is important. It's important because, especially the bad things, if you're thankful for them, you're clearing the roadblocks out of your mind so that you can see the lesson to be learned from that experience. And by learning that lesson and applying it to your life, you become a better, more well-rounded person, and you become a better part of society. And we can all learn and grow in a positive way from our experiences. And so it's a very important mindset to get yourself into. Again, this is step number 4. And as I've been saying through the other videos, we're leading up to step number 5, which is retraining your brain. So basically, we'll work on different building blocks here in these last 4 videos that are starting to teach you, as long as you're practicing them, how to start retraining your brain, or basically giving you the foundation to start retraining your brain in an effective manner. So, the first part, practice being grateful and thankful. And it does, it takes practice. I had to do it. Now I do it religiously, but it takes practice. Again, anything good in life takes practice, time, and effort. So get used to that. So we need to realize that all of our dreams, experiences, people you met, things you had, things that you no longer have, are all blessings and gifts. And it goes back to, like I said, you have to think about it in that manner, because then you can go back and look at it and ascertain the information and or the lesson to be learned from those experiences, people, things, all that stuff, and then apply it to your life. We talked about that in awareness of what's going on in your life and why, step number 2. We have to start thinking in terms of these things are given to us to help achieve our passion or our purpose in life. I'm a firm believer in that everybody on this planet has a purpose and a reason for being here. You weren't just thrown here to be born, to live, get a job, buy a mutual fund and a house, retire and die. There's much more to life than that. So we have to start thinking about that. And I know if you're someone who's watching, you have PTSD, life is looking pretty bleak to you right about now probably. But it won't always be that way, I'm proof of that. So we have to perceive these things as such. We got to honestly believe that, start thinking that way and practicing it. One of the ways you can do that is say thank you for everything at night when you go to bed. That's what I do. I know we get busy during the day, or if you have PTSD and you're dealing with your issues, you might not be thinking about that at the time. But when you go to bed at night and it's nice and quiet, nobody's bothering you, just say thankful for everything that you got throughout the day, all the experiences you had, the people you met, whatever it is. Just practice saying thank you. Thank you for meeting so-and-so today. Thank you for the food that I got this afternoon for lunch. Thank you for the cup of coffee that my neighbor gave me. Any of those things. Just practice saying thank you. And try to do it each and every day. And at least just do it when you go to bed. At least you're doing it every day. And that's a start. And it makes it's easier to remember to do that time of day. But one of the things I do, and it can be real simple. Here's an example. Say you need money. Everybody needs money, right? So say you're saying to yourself, please, I need some money. Please give me some money, whether you're praying or meditating or whatever it is, and you're thinking about getting money. Next day you're walking down the sidewalk and you look down and there's a nickel down on the ground. You pick it up, go to put it in your pocket, and say thank you for the abundance in my life. I know it seems trivial because it's a nickel. What can we do with a nickel, right? Well, if you get enough nickels, you can buy something to eat, right? So start practice. I do that. I'll find a penny and I do that. It's not about so much about the penny. It's more about practicing being thankful for the things that happen in your life. Remember, we're training here. So we're just using things that happen in our lives every day to conduct our training. Number 2, and this goes along with what I just said, when evidence of your desires manifests itself into your life, give thanks. So like the example I just gave with the nickel. That's something you want to practice. Say somebody gave you some food, or you got free tickets to a football game or something like that. Just make sure you're thankful. Accept everything with humility. As I said, we need to understand that nothing in life happens by chance. Okay, there's a purpose and a reason for everything. There's more than just you on the planet. And there's a reason for you and every other person on the planet to be here. So it kind of puts things in perspective, doesn't it, when you start thinking like that? Also, never take anything for granted, because nothing occurs out of coincidence, which is basically what I was talking about. There is a reason for everything that happens in your life. I can literally sit down and tell you the reason for everything that's happened to me, every experience I've had, and every person that I've met in my life. And I've actually done that. I've done it, and not in the not too distant past. I did it again as I was moving forward with things into a new phase of my life. So these are things that I do religiously. So every time I start a new phase of my life or move on to something different, I take out a pad of paper and I write down everything that's happened to me. Not only so I can understand it and learn what I'm supposed to learn from it, but it helps me to understand life. It helps me to understand my purpose in life. And when you start thinking that way, it opens up all kinds of doors for you, because you just have a much better attitude about your life, the world, and you understand life better. And you know that your life is not insignificant. It's important. You're here for a reason. And lastly, be forever grateful for everything. This is not something to do just while you have PTSD and then stop doing it. It's something that you need to keep doing over and over again the rest of your life. The more thankful you are, the more that you'll receive. It's just like you meet somebody, right? They take advantage of you, or you give them something, help them something, and never say thanks for anything. Eventually you get upset. I mean, you just decide, I'm not talking to this person anymore. I'm just walking away, I'm cutting them out of my life. The same thing happens with yourself. When you're not thankful for things, you're not doing good things for yourself, you're not being kind to yourself, you get upset with yourself, whether you realize it or not. And then what really ends up happening, I know this sounds a little esoteric, but you end up cutting away from yourself. You cut yourself off. It's almost like you become two people. You have a physical person and whether you want to call it spiritual person or whatever you want to call it, you sort of end up with this division between your body and soul, or your body and your mind. And so then we have to start doing these things again to reconnect that and become a whole person again and live our lives accordingly. So I realize it all sounds a little bit esoteric, but it's very important, it's very true. And keep in mind when I'm telling you these things, we're doing them for the purpose of training, because we're in training here. We're trying to teach ourselves and learn how to heal from PTSD and move past it and forward with our lives. And as always, every word, or every heading from each one of the 13 steps in my 13-step foundation to healing, I do a diagram. And it's sort of an overview or a review, because it's usually at the end of the chapter or at the end of the step, of what I talked about. And I was always taught in college and from other astute people that in order to really remember something, you have to hear it 3 times, see it 3 times, whatever it is, but it has to be 3 times to make it concrete in your mind. So by reading my book, by thinking about and implementing these steps, and then going over the diagram that I draw, I've helped you achieve that without you really knowing it or seeing that. And so by the time you get done with all that, you should have a very good understanding of what's going on, why, and how to do it. So, gratitude. G, graciously. R, relinquishing. A, accolades. T, 2, I, inspirational. T, thought. U, underlying. D, divine. And E, efficacy. So, gratitude. Graciously relinquishing accolades to inspirational thought, underlying divine efficacy. So there you have it. Also, please help me to help others and subscribe to my channel and share it. I'd really appreciate that. It really helps me when you all help me out by doing that. And be sure to check the drop-down box below the video for links to me and my work and all the other things that I do and provide. And don't forget, stay tuned for the next video, step number 5, retraining your brain. This is a very important step and a big step. So having said that, everyone be healthy, work on being happy, be safe, and I'll see you next time. Bye.